Today I'm going up the grade. I'm mixing my training and racing. I've been doing sprint intervals recently. I did a 7.7 mile absolute blast on Zwift Racing with Zwift Unlocked the other day. The aim is to get fitter and stronger. My target, my objective is 275 FTP, which is roughly 3.8 watts a kilo by Christmas. I'm going up the grade today to get closer to that 275. Watch a cheeky sprint on the way back on the flat after the descent. So here we go. There's been a 1.6 mile gentle introduction for me to warm up. As you can see on the top graphic, it's given me 5 minutes. Probably needed a bit more to warm up there. I thought it was a bit of a longer introduction. We start here. This is the elevation evaluation course. You can see the top graphic, so we're straight into the grade. It does get steeper on the second. There's two parts to the grade. There's point 1 to 5. You'll see the markings on the tarmac, the big numbers, and then there's a flat part. You can just see on the graphic on the incline on that hill. There's probably 0.2 of a mile flat part, and you've got to keep the power on, otherwise your average wattage will go down. And then you've got the second part of the climb, which does get a bit steeper, up to 11 and 12%, so it's more difficult as you finish. But here we go. You can see the number on the tarmac there. Approaching number 2, there's obviously 10 numbers. It is roughly 1,000 feet on the grade, and it challenges you, and once you go through the banner you will see whether you've beat your FTP. I think it takes it on a 10-minute, your best 10 minutes on the grade here. Just read it on some sources on Google. So you can see right in the middle of the graphic I've got my time elapsed 1.2324, averaging 319 watts. I reckoned I needed to average 300 watts, top left, over the course. Sorry, not the course, over the incline itself, because my FTP is currently 266 watts, and to increase it, by what I'm reading, I probably needed to hit there, or just under 300 watts actually, about 298. So as long as I'm above 300 watts, I will beat my FTP. So I didn't want to go all guns blazing. It's difficult to just hover above 300 watts, obviously. But I wanted, you see, 323. I'm probably wasting a bit of energy there. And just come below there. As long as I'm over 300 watts, I'm going to break my own record. As I said in the intro, my objective is to get to 275 watts by the end of the year. I'm at 266, which is the most I've ever been. I'm reckoning that's about 3.6, 275, maybe 3.8 watts a kilo. 300 watts, which will be my objective next year, will take me to 4 watts a kilo for my 50th birthday. So that's the long-term objective for next year. So I'm just concentrating, trying to get a rhythm, staying in 9th here, as you can see on the top left, hovering around that 300, going up to 320 and back to 290. You can see the break of the times and the sector stats on the left. So the first sector, 321 watts average, 54 seconds. I'd ignore the time because they are steeper as you progress on here, so it's going to take a bit longer on the different sectors. 309 watts on average, so it's a bit closer to what I'm looking at. 308 watts average at the top, so I'm well ahead. I'm feeling good. Got my Barocca in a water bottle. You can see the flat coming into the graphic at the top. Now I've come unstuck here by having effectively a little bit of a rest before I started the second portion of this climb, the second half. Now if I have a rest, my wattage will be dropping back to 150, which is no good. over whatever it is, 0.2, 0.3 of a mile, that flat. So I need to take on that blue section and keep the power down, so probably get into 16, gear 17 perhaps, to keep the 300 watts. It's very difficult, and it's a bit of a, it's very strange on your legs because your muscles are learning to spin high in a low gear, and you have this, what, perhaps 5-6 minutes doing that, and then suddenly you've got to transition to almost a shallow descent and whacking the gears up and getting some torque through that, the crankshaft. So it's a bit of a transition, and then you're back into spinning high again as you go into that orange section. I'll show you in a minute. And as hard as you try, as much as you try, it is difficult to make that transition. It always catches me out. But I'm doing pretty well here. 305 watts average. 5 minutes 10 seconds elapsed. It doesn't have a 90-day personal record, which means I've not done it for 3 months. Here we go. The incline has stopped, so you can see the little descent. So I'm pulling up the gears there. Still 286 watts, 231. You see, so I'm trying here. I've not gone up the gears quick enough. You can see that is affecting my average. It's 302 and it's on the descent. It's really difficult to manage that, I've got to say. Anyway, I'm feeling good, so I'm going to be picking that up again on the incline. We start again. How many have we done now? We've done 5, almost 5 sections out of the 10. So it starts on a light orange, 5% top right, as you can see, and then it'll quickly go into 8, 9, 10, 11%. Before you know it, you're through the barrier. I think I've done this in 14 and a half or 15, just under 15 minutes, I think, in the past. It doesn't say the record there, my record. See, I've dropped under 300 watts there. I was conscious of that, so I'm just whacking 337 watts on the top left, just pulling it back. I need to get back over 300 watts. If I do that, I'm safely going to improve my FTP. Was getting a bit tougher here, and I started looking at the riders in front to try and chase them down. So playing a little game to take my mind off my tired legs. This course is good it's fantastic for a warm down, because you've probably got 10 miles plus of nice descent, and then a flat, probably 200 feet to climb, 300 perhaps for the rest of that. So you can have a nice warm down, gives you a nice 45-minute ride in total. But this is the pressure bit. Back to 300 watts on average. Forgot to put my cycling top on in here, so just got a t-shirt, but that's not going to affect me because I'm not in the wind. Here we go, 8.5%, 7.33 minutes done. Back over the 300 watts. I was feeling really good, and there was no way I was giving up on here. I felt strong. I've got Bandura in my sights, which I'm pulling back. You can see on the right graphic as well, I am doing roughly 4 watts a kilo on average, which equates to my 300 watts. I'm 75.2 kilos, I think, weight at the moment. Approaching 9%. I'm in 10th gear. Obviously no need for the aero power up going uphill. 14 minutes gone. I mean, that means nothing. It's all about this average wattage going up the grade. The time's irrelevant today. It's going to be a 45-minute ride with a very intense 14-15 minutes, and then the other 30 minutes will be about just finishing the ride nicely and getting more minutes under the belt, really, at a decent wattage. Someone stopped on the grade there, obviously given up there. So what number are we coming up to here? You can see it's now reaching 10%, 9 minutes elapsed. got the number 8, so 8, 9, 10. I was looking at the graphic, and although you can see a flat part, it's not flat. In effect, that's just because the other icon is in the way. Once you can see the blue flat part, that's a huge psychological advantage. I'm intending to stand up at the last, perhaps 0.1 of a mile, 1,000 feet. 301 watts average. I'm in a great position here. I just need to keep it going. The American in front, Pelletier, only doing 2 watts a kilo, so I'll rein him in probably within the next 30 seconds. Yeah, you can see he's on this corner here. Another little milestone. If you can see the riders, grab them and go and catch them. It's perhaps easier than looking at the stats on the left and the numbers on the top and the gradient. It's all about the psychology here, just keeping the effort in. But it was good to know that I was at this stage and I was still on for my record. And that's because of the training I've been doing, long distance sprint intervals. Obviously I'm racing. The majority of the videos I upload are Zwift races. I did a 7.7 Zwift Unlocked the other day, which was 20 minutes of all out blast, which took my FTP up from 256 to 266. We're just past the number 9 there. And you can see the blue on the top graphic. I just need to edge that 300 watts up, perhaps to 301, 302, because I need to consolidate this and really make it. I can't end up at 298 and not break my FTP after all of this effort. So there, 318 top left, 285. It's wavering left and right, but the average is still there, which I was really pleased with. I'm really concentrating there. You can see the segment on the left, segment 6, I averaged 311 watts. That's over that segment, which has obviously got me back into it. Segment 8, only 294. So it's dipped, the tiredness has set in. We're approaching 12 minutes for the attempt here. Just coming up to it around about now. There we go. I've got the blue flat, or the descent in sight on the top graphic. There we go, flying through 2 riders. There's another rider there. I don't know whether I can catch Wernerberg, who's 7 seconds ahead. There we go, the 10th point. Right, the last segment here. What did I do that segment? And it'll come up in a minute. Perhaps it's hidden actually. Behind me. Yeah, it's hidden. I'm in 8th gear, 12%. I was suffering a bit here. Still at 300 watts. Approaching long bottom. I'll catch him because he's doing 2 watts a kilo. Wernerberg is, I guess he's putting in the final section, so he'll be sprinting soon. Probably not catch him with a 5-second lead with such a short distance to go. 300 watts average, I mean, I've controlled that very well. You can see I'm struggling to breathe here. It's all right. You just look at the numbers, it's now 12%. That's steep. I've had to come down to 8th gear. Now you can see the finish line there on the left. You can see the banner. Started getting up. Can I get to 350, 400 watts? But I'm not going to do that for that whole distance. Won't be able to do that. Not after the effort I've just put in. I'm 3 seconds, 301 watts average, 2 seconds from Wernerberg. Can I catch him on the line? That's the question. Come on, 301 watts average, 10%. Get up, get up. one of those got to get over the line, but I'm not bothered about that. It's all about me versus me here. Come on, you'll see on the right, what's the score? 268 watts, new FTP. Unbelievable. Delighted, yeah, little cheer. Flipping heck, I put that in. There's my tea towel, mopping my brow. Unbelievable. Let's fast forward it here. I don't want to take you through the last 10 miles because this was just a warm down for me. There is a part here near that green banner coming up though. Just checking the companion app, looking at my stats and average. Really proud. 268. 7 watts away from my target. And I tell you what, now the weather's cooling in the UK, that is really helping me in the shed. It's a huge advantage, I've got to say. So I will be back midweek and next weekend to try and get this. Here's the banner here. Just watch this as an absolute bonus. So my record is 779 watts, I think, on a sprint. I don't know where I got this from. Look at the top left. Well, look at the achievement there. I hit 800 watts for a period, which is a sprint record. I'm laughing to myself there. I don't know why I did that. Saw the banner and just went for it. Never hit 800 watts in any training, race or session. And I've done that after the grade. So I'm really proud. We'll run through to the finish here. But who knew? FTP increase. Sprint 5-second increase. I even got I don't know why I've got the jersey, by the way. Tell me in the comments. Got the polka dot half jersey. No idea why. Who am I racing? Who am I beating? I don't know. So overall, an absolute fantastic, enjoyable race for me there. Not a race against myself. If you like the video, like and subscribe. And I will be back. Thank you.